Alright, well, welcome back. First video we talked about polynomials and how to combine like terms. Today we're going to talk a few more vocabulary words. First up is the vocabulary word of term. When we say combine like terms, we sort of have an idea of that, but right now we're going to give term more of a definition. So a term is one part of a polynomial separated by addition or subtraction. So when we look at a polynomial like 5x squared minus 7x plus 3, or we look at another polynomial like 10x to the 5th minus 9x to the 4th plus 3x squared minus 7x minus 19. A term is one part of a polynomial separated by addition or subtraction. So everywhere we see subtraction or addition, that marks the stop and start of a new term. So 5x squared is a term, negative 7x is a term, and positive 3 is a term. I should remind you that we want to take the signs associated with each term. So in this next polynomial, 10x to the 5th is positive, it's a positive term. Then there's negative 9x to the 4th would be the next term, 3x squared's the next term, negative 7x, and then negative 19 are all the terms in that polynomial. So everywhere we see addition and subtraction, it marks the stopping and starting of a term. And this also goes for when we have more than one variable in our polynomial. For instance, if we had something a little more wild, like negative 7x cubed y squared plus 4x squared y cubed minus 9xyz, that polynomial's a little crazier. It's got more variables than we're used to seeing, but the same rule applies. Everywhere we see addition or subtraction marks the stopping and starting of a term. So multiplication is what's holding a single term together. Once we start subtracting or adding, it creates a new term. So negative 7x cubed y squared is one term, 4x squared y cubed a next term, and negative 9xyz is the last term in that polynomial. Now, talking about terms leads us to another topic of just names of polynomials. So monomial is the name for a polynomial with one term. Polynomial with one term. Mono meaning one, monomial, a polynomial with one term. Then we talked about one, so let's talk about two. A binomial is a polynomial with two terms. And then there's trinomial. Maybe you're picking up the pattern we're talking about here. This is going to be a polynomial with three terms. And now it doesn't matter the size of those terms, as long as it's one term long, it's a monomial. So things that are monomials would be just numbers, like 7 or 5. Or they could be a single variable like x or z. Those are all monomials. Or it could be a collection of numbers and variables all multiplied together. For instance, 3x squared y cubed z to the 5th a is a single term polynomial because there is no addition or subtraction there. And of course the same goes for binomial and trinomial. As long as there's one addition or one subtraction holding two terms together, it's a binomial. A trinomial, on the other hand, will have two additions, or an addition or a subtraction, or two subtractions to hold three terms together. The last thing that I want to talk about today is the constant term. Let's make some space. Constant term, which is a term in a polynomial that is just a number. A term in a polynomial that is just a number. In fact, in math, the word constant means number. So anytime you hear something is a constant, it means it's a number. Anytime that word is thrown around, they mean number. So, if we look at a polynomial like 7x squared minus 9x minus 3, the term in this polynomial that is just a number is called the constant term. So -3 would be our constant term. In a larger polynomial, say 5x cubed minus 4x squared plus 3x plus 17, that 17 is the constant term. Now, it is possible for polynomials not to have a constant term. For instance, 5x cubed minus 7x does not have a constant term, so it's possible for polynomials not to have a constant term. But when they do, we know what it's called. If you've got questions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I will see you for the next video.